Okay guys, so today in this video, I'm gonna try to make as many ribs as I can fit inside the Weber Summit charcoal grill. And the reason I'm doing this is because a dear friend of ours who worked at my kids' school for over 10 years is moving away. Her name is Miss Annette, and Miss Annette is moving, and we're all very sad. And Miss Annette is very sad. But she also told me that she would not be nearly as sad if I made her some baby back ribs. Apparently that will help her with the grieving process. And so I agreed to do that. And once I agreed to do that, some of the other teachers let me know that they too are grieving the loss of Miss Annette.
This is just so sad. I'm just so sad. But I'm kind of hungry too.
So what that means is I am going to take a ton of ribs up to the school tomorrow so that we can all heal together. Like as one big happy family, we're gonna just do some barbecue therapy and everything will be all right. But in order to do that, I have to get a ton of ribs to fit on this grill. I'm not sure how many that'll be, we'll see, but gotta make it work. Don't have any other option. Oh. Yeah, don't have any other option. So I'm gonna head outside in a second and show you my setup. It's about to rain. It's looking bad, and you'll see in a minute because it's all windy. But first I want to show you how we're gonna prep these ribs. It's very simple. We're gonna remove the membrane off the back. If you're lucky, you can stick a little knife between the bone and the membrane and peel it back and then grab it and pull it off all in one piece. We're gonna do that on all these ribs and then we're gonna add our rub. And the rub we're using today is the Man Cave Meals pork rub. So John Setzler, who works for Kamado Joe, used to run a channel called Man Cave Meals that went away for a couple of years and now it's back. I'm excited to announce that because it was one of my favorites before it went down. So it's back, so go check that out. Check out his rub. I'll put a link to it in the description. It's a fantastic rub. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be fantastic because John made it. I actually haven't tried it. But it's also a fantastic channel. And if for no other reason, go check it out because the man has lost like 1 million pounds in the last 3 years. I mean, he looks fantastic and it's very inspiring. So check that out. The rub looks good. It's your typical ingredients except for one thing. Tang. Okay, not like that. Much better. When I saw that, it was so weird. I was like, I have to try that. I mean, come on, that is strange. So, but I'm sure it's gonna be great. So that's that. Let's go outside and take a look at how we got everything set up. Okay guys, so the plan is tomorrow morning, I'm gonna wake up at 4 in order to get these ribs done by lunch. And so since I know it's very important to some of y'all to see the way the cooker's set up, I'm gonna go through this now, tonight, and that way you'll see what the plan is. I'm gonna start over here. I've got a mix of Kingsford and Kingsford Professional. Kingsford Professional is a lot more like lump than regular Kingsford. It kind of burns hotter and has less ash and lights faster and stuff like that. So I'm gonna do that. I think this is the first time I've actually cooked a low and slow with Kingsford Professional in this cooker. So starting out with that, I've got a mixture of hickory and apple wood that I'm going to use. I like to start on this side of the cooker because, as I mentioned before, sometimes the Summit likes to burn from the left to the right, and so to compensate for that, I'm going to start the fire over on this side I'll light it with a regular lighter cube. This is a Kamado Joe fire starter, so I'm going to put that right there, and then once that's set up, then I'll put my heat deflector in place. And then a round drip pan. I believe this is just a pizza pan, maybe serving dish, something like that. I found cheap somewhere along the way. I wrap it in foil because then when I'm done, I can just pull the foil off and it's real easy cleanup. I always use a drip pan when I'm doing low and slow, always, every single time. I feel like it's really important to keep the junk out of the bottom of your cooker. And the reason I feel that way is because I had a grease fire once. I learned from the School of Hard Knocks. So, okay, so after that, I'll put my main grate in place. I'll probably do it like that with the handles in the front and the back. And the reason is because in order to fit all these ribs in here, I'm gonna use these rib racks. You know, I'm not crazy about rib racks in general, and I try to avoid them whenever possible. I have this is a porcelain coated rib rack. I'll put a link to this in the description. Nothing fancy, I mean, it's like 12 bucks. The thing about the porcelain coated is it's much easier to clean by hand. The downside to these is in the past I've had issues with the porcelain chipping off while you're cleaning it. So you definitely can't put this through the dishwasher, where with the stainless steel ones you can, so you don't have to wash them by hand, but they're a lot more expensive. You know, that's your call. So I'll set this in place and that should give me room. That should give me room to fit a lot of ribs on this grill at once. So we'll see how many. I've got 12, I'm shooting for 10. We'll see what happens. So I got all 12 racks of ribs on there. I can't believe it. I didn't know what to expect, but they all fit just fine. We've been cooking for about 2.5, 3 hours, and I noticed at first I had kind of a hot spot around the edge of the heat deflector. So what I started doing was just rotating the ribs more frequently. So every 30 minutes to an hour. I've probably done it 3 or 4 times now. I'll just move them end to end, flip them end to end, and then move them over. So everything's kind of going in a circular pattern here. So far, no problems at all. I'm excited. Everything's cooking on schedule. We'll see what happens. I gotta run these up to the school, but I wanna show you this first. These turned out great. I cannot wait to try these. They smell amazing. In fact, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and try them now. Okay, these came out darn close to perfect. Check that out. Perfect bite through texture. This is definitely a win. You can't even taste the tang. So these turned out great. This rib is fantastic. Thank you, John. I really like this rub and I will use it again. Lessons learned. If I had to do it again, what I would probably do is give myself more time. I slept in a little bit because I thought I had plenty of time. I think I would actually have gotten up at 4 like I'd planned and gone all day. Even if you're used to cooking ribs at 275 or higher than 225, go ahead and make this one a low and slow and just let everything heat up together. Interestingly, I don't think that I had any hot spots the second half of that cook. I still rotated the ribs, but I'm not totally sure it was necessary at that point. So So yeah, this was good. If you enjoyed this, I try to make content that I would want to see. Please subscribe. As a barbecue guy, I know what I like to watch, and that's what I try to make. I also made a deal with YouTube where if you don't subscribe to my channel, every time you log into YouTube, you're gonna get Justin Bieber videos forever. So if you want to avoid that, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. So I'm pulling up at my kid's school, and it would be totally inappropriate for me to bring my camera inside, but I'll let you know how she feels about them once I get back. She loved them.